Good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Dawson County Board of Commissioners work session. Today is Thursday, December 18th, 2025. Appreciate those that are with us in attendance as well as those that are with us online. I do have one change to the agenda, addition of number 6A. And that will be presentation of deed of assent concerning property being donated from the Stiles Estate over to the county. And Ms. Davis will be giving us that at the time. So we'll get right into the new business. First up, we have presentation of FY 2026 State Public Defender Contract, Circuit Public Defender Mark Alexander. Mark Alexander, come on up, Mark.
Good evening. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I appreciate the opportunity to be before you guys. I know I have not had the chance to meet you. This is a new gig for me. I was fortunate to be appointed at the beginning of, the middle of November. So I'm literally 1 month into this new job. Isabel Lucas is here with me. She's my office manager. And she's been telling me, you need to go to Dawson County, you need to meet these people, and you need to tell them to approve this contract that I understand, or these contracts that I understand are already funded in the budget. I'm happy to entertain any questions that you may have about them, but essentially it's my understanding that what we're asking that you do is to fund basically the contracts that I think are already in existence with the state of Georgia and the Georgia Public Defenders Council for the funding of a lawyer and an administrative person, investigator, that we typically use to provide the representation of indigent individuals here in Dawson County and in this circuit. And so I know we're first on the list for two of them, but essentially the first one is the contract with the state. The second one is the intergovernmental contract with the county, which funds basically half of a lawyer position and half of an administrative assistance position. And as I don't know if many of you are familiar, but we do have a number of lawyers who are up here on a regular full-time basis. And then when cases or the needs require Judge Bearden or Judge Burton or Judge Deal require us to, we try to marshal up as many people as we can from our office in Hall County to come here. But I want you to know that I have just really enjoyed getting to meet the people up here in this office. We went around the other day and tried to meet some of the folks, the clerk's office, the sheriff's office, court administration's office, many of them who I think had already left or were out last Friday. But I welcome the opportunity to come back up here to meet with all of you individually, entertain any concerns or any questions that you may have, and I'll be happy to address any that you may have about any of these proposals.
Okay, and as he said, he has number one and number two. One of them is a state public defender contract. The other one is intergovernmental agreement between Dawson and Hall. And these are the same things that we do on an annual basis. And they are in the budget. And being as they kick in on January the 1st, they're asking that they be moved forward. Do you have any questions for Mark before we decide that? Guess not. So y'all good with moving it forward? So it'll be good to go on January 1?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I look forward to meeting you and have a happy holiday.
You too. Okay, so move on to number 3, presentation of proposed 2026 local maintenance and improvement grant application for Afton Road and request for Georgia Department of Transportation funding. Public Works Director Robert Drury. Robert.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. You're familiar with the LMIG. I've come to you every year. Fortunately, the DOT has been very gracious in the LMIG program. Just as a reminder, it's a 30% match. The Georgia DOT money has a 30% match to it. Afton Road is 4.41 miles long and extends from 183 southwest toward Pickens County. The road pavement's in poor condition, and it's got multiple locations where we're going to have to do some deep patching where the pavement and the base has failed. So the project will include the deep patching, we'll mill bad asphalt on top, and then overlay it. In 2023, if you recall, the Georgia DOT put a 2-foot paved safety shoulder on that road. It's helped a lot. And my understanding is Afton Road's been on the resurfacing needs for quite a while. So we really want to do the resurface on this one because start getting grass in the joint where the DOT came in, and we want to have nice transition from full lane width. So we're requesting this to be in the LMIG 2026 project. We estimate $1.9 million project, and we're going to fund it from SPLOST 7, and the DOT LMIG grant will reimburse the SPLOST budget for that. So here for any questions if you have any. It's a good project and needs to be done.
Questions for Robert? Thank you. Next up, we have presentation of request to write off uncollectible ambulance accounts, Chief Financial Officer Natalie Johnson. Miss Natalie.
Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. I'm here for our annual request to write off old uncollectible ambulance accounts. This is a process that we do every year, and the amount for this year is, $425,017.87, and that's a total of 755 accounts.
Questions for Miss Natalie? An annual occurrence?
It was
355.
355, 543. These covered the years of 2020 to 2021, so I kind of think maybe that's why they're a little higher as well.
Yep. Well, it wasn't as bad as 2023.
Right.
2023 is 553.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next up, we have presentation request to accept funds from treatment services for public building renovations. County Manager Joey Leverett. Joey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request tonight is to accept some funds and then transfer them to a project account. As you're aware, we are currently remodeling an existing building for the health department, treatment services, and environmental services. Treatment services has, during this process of this remodeling of this project, we had to do some pretty significant value engineering, cut some desires we had in the design in order to make budget. So some significant parts were removed a few months ago, and through discussions with court staff, they have graciously, treatment services is requesting to transfer $100,000 from the Superior Court's general fund. I believe some of those funds, or most of those funds, were some leftover ARPA funding, and also $50,000 from treatment services general fund to the public health building project account. These funds would be used to add items that were previously removed back into the scope of the renovations. Some offices were removed, some folding petitions had to be removed, and some other items had to be removed. So this would allow us to change order those items with the contractor back into the project. Staff respectfully request the board approve the acceptance of $150,000 from Superior Court and Treatment Services General Fund into the Public Health Building Renovation Project account.
And being we're in process, you want to move that forward?
Yes, sir. If we could move it forward, we could keep the contract.
Okay. Y'all good with that? Got any questions? Okay. Next up, we have presentation of request to approve a proposal by Alliant Insurance Services for Phase 2 procurement service for an advanced primary care clinic. Joey, you're doing that?
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Recently, Dawson County, with the assistance of Alliant Services, completed a feasibility study of determining the viability of providing for a employee health primary clinic for Dawson County's employees and dependents. The results were favorable of this study, the feasibility study. The results were favorable, and you may recall a presentation was conducted in early November here to the board with results, and those numbers were also provided to you. The next step of this process, if we are going to move forward with an employee health clinic, would be to what we're calling phase 2, to re-engage the consultant, Alliant. They have provided us with a proposal, and phase 2 is called the procurement phase. And phase 2 involves the planning, developing a formal model for the clinic. We have to determine exactly what services we're going to provide. Legal review, contract development, and developing an RFP, a request for proposals, and soliciting proposals, assisting the county with the bid reviews and final negotiations with a preferred vendor. The cost of this phase 2 is $47,000. And these funds are not budgeted. It would be from the general fund. I do make this recommendation. Again, there's been a lot of discussion about this topic. We do think that it's a viable option for a number of reasons. Person primarily is concerned about the health of our employees and their dependents. This gives them an opportunity for another medical provider. And also, we're also looking at this for an option of controlling our insurance premium cost, health insurance premium cost long-term. So we do recommend this, and been working with this with Human Resources over the past 6 months. And next step is to get down to determine the model and go into the market. We do not internally as staff have that expertise or those connections for that type of market. So we certainly are going to need some assistance with this. And I answer any questions that the board may have, but I do recommend the proposal.
Questions for the county manager?
I have a couple questions, Joey. You may have answered these when we first started talking about it, or the lady, I think it was a lady here. Do we know what the hours of this clinic would be?
Not specifically.
Okay. Would we provide hours though that are outside of the 8 to 5?
We can certainly make that happen. And that's what we'll be working on with the vendors. What can they provide?
Right.
We certainly, I think, just logically would want to be not getting ahead of ourselves, but, a lot of the shift changes for the fire and police are at 7 a.m. So we would certainly want that to be where they could, easily utilize the services. I suspect, and again, I don't want to go out on a limb because we don't know yet. We probably will start out with a part-time clinic, whether that's 25 or 30 hours a week. Again, what is the provider willing to work with us on? But we will certainly have flexible hours. I don't know that it'll be 40 hours a week initially.
Okay. My other question to kind of play off of that is, would this get rid of Teladoc?
It could be done in conjunction with that. That service, and Ms. Finley's not here tonight. Yes, she is. The telemedicine is not an extremely expensive service that we have today.
I would want to keep it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I know that there was kind of a couple of employees have asked me if it would get rid of it, and that they were concerned that it would, and they use it often. And so I just would want to make sure that this is something that we potentially, for convenience especially, did in conjunction with it, since it's not super expensive.
From a financial standpoint, there would be no reason
Right.
to consider doing
Okay.
it.
I just wanted to say that out loud. Make sure. Okay. Thank you.
Again, if we move forward with this phase of it, we'll come back to the board late spring, with another recommendation and some clear answers to some of these questions, what exactly the model is and who the providers are and what services exactly we'll provide.
Other questions? Thank you, sir. We'll move on to 6A, presentation of deed of assent concerning property being donated from the Stiles Estate over to the county. Ms. Davis.
We're going to tag team that one if you allow us,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. I was going to introduce a little history, but certainly Ms. Davis can jump in at any time, and her staff has helped us with this. Everybody here tonight knows the history or is familiar with the history. Miss Ann Stiles, the late Miss Ann Stiles, a few years ago donated 120 acres to the county. Very generous. Of course, that park has been developed, and It's been well received by the community. Unfortunately, Miss Stiles, unfortunately, passed just a few weeks before we had the grand opening. She passed away in late May of this year. Since that time, her unsolicited by the county, I want to be very clear on that, very clear, unsolicited and unbeknown to the county, her estate desired to will an additional 8 acres, which is contiguous with the park property, is her old homestead. There's a older home there and some barns. That was her desire, her wishes and her will. And over the past few months, it's been probated with her executor. And of course, Gerard and Davis has been in contact with their probate attorneys. And the transaction is complete. And what's here for you tonight is a deed has been prepared to accept the 8 acres of property to expand the park. That's the plan, to expand the park. And asked for the board to allow the chairman to sign that deed. And Ms. Davis, do you need to add any other thing?
I do not. Thank you for adding it tonight. They wanted to complete the transaction by year end, just have it off the books going into 2026. So that's the reason that we've requested it be added tonight. And we will ask that it be moved forward so that we can authorize the chairman to sign. And then we'll get that recorded and filed, and the county will be the beneficiary of that new property. Thank
Everybody
you.
good with that? Moving forward? Okay. Always like free. All right. So county manager report, Joey.
I just get to keep talking a lot tonight. Just a very few brief items on the county manager report. Always love to recognize folks when I have an opportunity. Our benefits specialist, Erica Armico, I always have trouble with the Italian name, of our Human Resources Department, recently completed her level 1 certification as a certified human resource manager. This was a completion of 13 classes and also some self-directed learning through the instruction. And this was conducted by the Georgia Local Government Personnel Association. So we're just, Erica's just a great asset to the county. And I wanted to say a word about her tonight. She didn't have to do this. It was, continuing education and career development. And we're just very proud of her, and I wanted to recognize her tonight publicly for that. Just a reminder, we will be closed next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the Christmas holidays, and we will also be closed Thursday, January the 1st, for New Year's holiday. Finally, as usual, your flash report for the previous month is in your packet with that data. And that's all I have, sir.
Questions for the county manager? County attorney report, Ms. Davis.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there's no public report, but we do have a need for an executive session for personnel and litigation, please.
All right. So, Kristen, I'm sure you already got it. So 1, 2, 5, and 6A are moved forward. And y'all good with 4 as consent for next time?
One item, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay.
Got 3. You get 3 next time. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Either way. All right. So whatever's simple for you. All right. So I'll entertain, that gets us to the end of the work session. Entertain a motion to go in executive session.
Make a motion that we go to executive session to discuss personnel and potential litigation.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 4-0. So we'll take about 5 minutes, meet back in executive session. Thank you for your attendance. We'll be back at 6 o'clock for the voting session. Thank you.